Gentlemen, we are live here at Le Mans Bugatti. Very famous track in Circuit de la Sarthe. This is the infield slash clubman circuit, depending on who you are, depending on what you call things, for another night race in the NORL Project Cars FIA GT3 series. On Project Cars 2, we're getting ready for a very foggy qualifying. We have some guys out starting laps at the moment. S7s out on track. Chaza also on track. Galactic Skull 2. Still quite a lot of guys in the pits as we have some astonishing lag through that section. Ooh. So we had quite an interesting race last time out at Laguna Seca. I'm going to wonder if we're going to have anything of the kind. Looks like we're going to be treating to the likes of fog once more, like we was at Hockenheim a few races ago. And we'll have to see how the drivers negotiate it. Kevin Jacobs picking up a little bit of understeer out on his first laps. Now, Kern Joker was a man of what if at Laguna Seca. But so far, Kedshi is the man on fire, the man that everybody's been turning their attention to, really pulling the results out of the bag, and arguably could have won last week, but I believe a strategy blunder, we'll call it. He had a mistake in his pit stop, which caused him to lose the lead to this man, who came from being caught up in a turn 1 accident, a lap 1 accident, and going all the way to the back. And climbed his way all the way up to the front to take the win last time out in Laguna Seca. So absolute stellar job by Mark last weekend. If he's the favourite to win this weekend, it's hard to say until we know what the qualifying pace is, but he's definitely one that you're going to want to throw your name in the bag in. And a very dark Le Mans Bugatti, surrounded by the mist and the fog of France, is certainly going to be a way to test these drivers, as you see one Bentley there, Murcielago, drifting through the opening corners. We have Gareth Lennon, former NORL driver, NORL race winner, in the chat, here to cheer on his good friend Galactic Skull 2, who's currently 1.6 seconds off the pace of Kevin Jacobs, who lays down the marker for the opening. Oh my goodness, we've got a crash going into turn 1 between Kedshi and Kern Joker, I believe that was. Sorry, Kern Joker, not at all. It was Kedshi, and it looked like an R8 of some kind. I think that was 7s. So I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like these two got caught up on each other's qualifying laps, and having a little bit of an accident costing each other time. And if they'll decide to go to the stewards with that or not, I'm not sure, but certainly looking like everybody's getting their elbows out in the qualifying session. We haven't even got into the race yet, and we've got crashes galore, so it's going to be an interesting one. So Kevin Jacobs, surprisingly, is the man on pole, really showing that he's got some speed around here. Of course, he hasn't done too well in this championship. He's had some good top 5 results. Don't believe he's even been on the podium yet, so pole position would be a good first outing. Well, not first outing, but, you know, first showing of form. So it'll be pretty cool. So Murcielago now takes pole, and then Galactic Skull 2 takes it immediately after. Great effort, just over 0.5 of a second between those two in the Bentleys up the front. So that's going to be pretty interesting. 2 Bentleys then, looking very strong. Kevin Jacobs back into the pit lane, probably for a fresh set of rubber to go again. Mark comes up to the line now. Is he going to improve? He does. Mark takes pole by 2.7 seconds at this phase. So incredible pace on that lap from Mark. Good effort by him. Kern Joker looking like he's going to come around the final few corners to set another lap. Is it going to be? Where is it going to be? Because it's going to be his first lap if it is. nothing then, so he's starting his lap. That must have been his out lap. JFD's in the final sector. He's also yet to set a lap, and now Beamer Black takes pole position by just over 3.5 tenths of a second ahead of Mark, so the Bentleys will need to get their footing back if they want to be within at least a second of these guys. Because at the moment they're 3 seconds adrift, but they're very close together at a Bentley, so great effort. Oh, that's Galactic Skull 2 getting the chicane all wrong. Meanwhile, Murcielago coming around the final set of corners. What can the dark green Bentley do here out the final corner? He comes on the accelerator hard now, up to the line. Murcielago does not improve on that lap, and I don't think Galactic Skull 2 will either, because it was a very messy chicane and he goes wide. It actually might be able to get away with it through that final section. Up to the line comes the Bentley. What's he going to be able to do? No improvement as suspected after that drift through the chicane. So JFD coming up to the line now. Is he going to finally set a lap time that will put him on the board? No, he's not. So his lap time got invalidated, same as Kern Jerkers did last time out. Both of these guys still yet to set a time. Really starting to run out of time. We're under 2 minutes now, and you can see Kern Jerker does exactly the same as what Galactic Skull 2 did. I apologise for that, just had to quickly mute. And cock-a-doodle-doo, JFD then starting his lap. Doesn't have long to do it. Beamer Black extends his advantage to just under 8 tenths of a second. Mark's going to have to get on with it, as are the Bentleys. And Kevin Jacobs is still in the mix, but he is 8.8 seconds off the pole. You can just see we're starting to get a little bit of a skill gap in this championship. I have to say, Kedshi hasn't set a very good lap either. He needs to get in a good, valid lap. So coming into what I believe is the middle sector for Kedshi. Really looks like he's on it. Really pushing to for it. Can confirm that I don't smoke Benson and Hedges, but I mean, that would do it. Kedshi coming up to the final sector, then Kern Joker and JFD still on their laps, still failing to set a valid lap time, and Beamer Black in the Lamborghini looking the most comfortable of all. But this man's stolen so many pole positions late on in the session this season. It's very possible that he can do it. Coming around the final corner now, it's got to be a lap that's better than 30 seconds 9 down on the pace. We know that at least, but is it good enough for pole position? Up to the line he comes, and it's good enough for second by just under half a second, at 4 tenths of a second for Kedshi. So it brings himself into play, not quite enough to take it. What about Mark? He'll be the next one around the final corner. Up to the line comes the Renault RS01. Up to the line, is it going to be pole position? Yes, it is, by just over a tenth of a second. Great effort by Mark as Beamer Black's in the pit lane. So Beamer Black's not going to be able, not even going to be in a position to respond to that. Galactic Skull 2's in the pits as well. No improvement expected then from that Bentley. Kevin Jacobs coming around here as well. We have Chazza coming up to the line. What's Chazza going to be able to pull out the bag? Absolutely nothing. Sevens will be the next, following Kern Joker. Kern Joker still yet to get a valid lap in this session. Is he going to finally put one on the board? Yes, he does. 4th place. Sevens goes up into P7, and Chazza is finished his lap. JFD across there. We have Kedshi now in 3rd place, and Kern Joker 4th place. Galactic 2 5th place. Murcielago still coming through the 2nd sector, through that very tricky chicane. You can see him getting all kinds of sideways, and you can see that it is them two. Those are the only two left on the final lap. Kevin Jacobs has crossed the line to put himself in P4. Good effort by Kevin Jacobs in the Honda NSX. Now, where is Murcielago? He'll be in the final sector, as will JFD. JFD coming up to the final set of corners, I'm sure. It might actually be just going into sector 2. I do apologise. So it's Murcielago coming out the final corner now in the dark green Bentley. What can Murcielago do? Can he overtake the other Bentley Galactic Skull 2? He can. P4 for Murcielago. And the last man to finish his lap will be JFD, who was not set a lap thus far. And it's got to be a good one then, coming through the chicane. Oh, and it isn't a good one. A spin out at the chicane for JFD. We'll see him start at the back of the grid, because even if he completes this lap, it's not going to be fast enough to pass anybody. And there you go. What happened to my accident? There you go. Mark will start from pole position. Great effort by the Renault. He extends his advantage at the end. Didn't need to, but did anyway to half a second. He'll start ahead of the Lamborghini of Beamer Black. Then it'll be Kedshi lining up in P3. Murcielago will be the first of the Bentleys. Separating them is the Honda NSX of Kevin Jacobs. Kern Joker lines up in P6. Galactic Skull 2, P7. Sevens P8. And Kern Joker disconnects and rejoin, so he should be able to keep his position. And it is Sevens in P8, Chaz a P9, and JFD, failing to set a valid time, will line up in P10, bringing up the rear of the grid. And we have rain for the race, so it's just got all the more tricky in this race. I believe this is the first rain of the season, so we don't know who's good in the rain yet. This has just thrown this race wide open. Don't go anywhere. So we have Mark lining up in P1 in the Renault. He'll be dragging down the straight with a Lamborghini Huracan. We're not sure which one of the two will have the advantage there, but my guess will be that the Renault will have more traction. Ketchy lining up P3. Good driver in that in mixed conditions. We saw that in the fog of Hockenheim. He'll be lining up side by side with Murcielago in the Bentley. Kevin Jacobs in the Honda NSX will line up with another Mercedes. Galactic Skull 2 will be Bentley versus R8. Then it's Chazza and JFD bringing up an all-Renault final row of the grid. And these guys will be starting on a rolling start. So you've got to be careful, especially guys that aren't quite around the final corner when the light goes green, because you've got to be so careful with the traction, especially on this game in the rain. This game doesn't have a lot of traction to begin with, so when you throw in some rain, then it's really going to start. So here we go then. Here we go. Coming up to the final corner then. It's going to be Mark versus Beamer Black off the line. Mark will start from pole position, but he's on the outside line. Now, some of these guys aren't going to be around the final corner, so they've got to be so careful not to spin out immediately. Lights out, and away we go, and Mark's already off on the gravel. Beamer Black takes an early lead. Ketchy will go to P2. The Murcielago gets P4, and then he's getting swamped by Kevin Jacobs and Kern Joker, who are going free abreast already. Them guys almost making so much contact on this opening lap. We got cars dying everywhere. Kevin Jacobs trying to hold the outside line on Kern Joker, and he's gone wide. He's on the gravel, and he makes contact with Ketchy. Murcielago gone as well, and there's huge contact. And that was all because of Kevin Jacobs going wide onto the gravel and just T-burned half of the front of the grid. It's pretty much race over for these guys already. All because the NSX made a mistake there. Sevens on the inside of Galactic Skull 2. Sorry, Sevens around the outside of Galactic Skull 2. And Galactic Skull 2 on the inside getting pinched up against the curb there. Nowhere to go. Kevin Jacobs side by side with Chazza, who's now up into P4. Beamer Black leads from Mark. Mark's got a good start and got back up to after losing pole position. And that had, arguably is mainly because Kevin Jacobs took out most of his competition at the start of the race as we head into Sector 2. So here we go, we have Sevens going up the inside of Kevin Jacobs. Aggressive move from the Audi R8, pulls off, and now Kevin Jacobs gets scared off the road by the Bentley of Galactic Skull 2. Side by side, these two will drag down the straight. Who's going to have the grunt? And it looks like the Bentley pulling on the outside line, but he's on the outside line, of course, for this chicane, which means it's going to be very tough, and Kevin Jacobs out-brakes him before we get to the corner. Very easy on the brakes as the Honda, and gets it away well, but now it looks like a better launch out of the corner for Galactic Skull 2. Is he going to be able to try anything into the next corner? No. Sevens and Chazza going at it. Sevens on the outside, Chazza on the inside, but that's a long way around that corner if you're on the outside line. But if you can hold it, you'll be on the inside for the next corner, which looks like that's exactly what Sevens is. Down the inside, but locks up and forces Chazza off the road. That's going to give a free position to Kevin Jacobs, give two free positions for Kevin Jacobs, and them two will still continue to go at it. Ketchy into pit lane to assess that damage on the first lap, and ooh, Sevens and Galactic Skull 2 making contact on the front start finish straight. So Beamer Black leads by 8/10 from Mark. Cone Joker up in fourth, Kevin Jacobs fourth, sorry. It's Cone Joker in third. We can see that Sevens and Chazza still very much going at it through turn one. Into turn two they come. And it looks like Chazza's going to be comfortable for the time being, but Sevens is trying to find any opportunity past the Renault. Renault very slow through this sector compared to that Audi. You can see Galactic Skull 2 pulling up to the outside, trying to see if he can get involved at all in this onboard battle. And he might be actually, because that Sevens car has gone very, very wide, and it has brought Galactic Skull 2 onto the inside, but that turns to the outside for the next corner, so it's advantage Sevens once again as we head into sector 2, the double right-hander. Sevens late on the brakes, trying to make it a double move, hits Chazza off again, and that's going to give 2 free positions to Galactic Skull 2. Goes wide himself, Chazza now goes through. Murcielaga's brought himself back into the fray after the early lap contact. He's joined the back of this train, and down the back straight they come. Chazza looking for anything on Galactic Skull 2 through the slow chicane. Very close here. Sevens right up the back of Chazza, seeing if he can try and make this move, but he's not been able to make this move cleanly whatsoever this race. Looking to the inside, nothing doing on this occasion, making contact with Chazza all the while, and he's gone for a spin. And some, especially Chazza, would say that's karma, but back down, away from that fight he goes. And Kedshi, the only man to pit, way back in the distance. Now Chazza will have to fend off the dark green Bentley and Murcielago. Meanwhile, Mark has taken the lead of this race. So Beamer Black, during all of that, must have made a mistake because he's lost 2.5 seconds. Combine that with the second advantage he had, he's lost nearly 4 seconds to Mark over the course of the last lap. Murcielago holding on to Chazza, looking for any opportunity to get by. Lots of spray coming from the rear of the Renault. They can barely see coming through this next sector. Good exit from that corner from the Renault though. Very good exit. But goes wide at the next corner, and all that hard work becomes undone because the Bentley's right back behind the Renault once again. Looking to the outside, maybe he could dart to the inside, but he's from an awful long way back if he wants to do it cleanly. But Chazza brakes very early, almost scares the Bentley off the road. The Bentley looks like it's got much better brakes, makes contact with the Renault, and the door is firmly closed on his face. So Beamer Black being reeled in a little bit by Cone Joker over the course of this lap. Kevin Jake's in no man's land. The main battle is Murcielago versus Chazza, as Chazza's very much up on the apex there and getting a little bit of a slow exit, but then seems to pick up speed down the straight as the Bentley not quite able to capitalise on the mistake of the Renault there as we head into the next chicane. Heavy on the brakes, lots of spray, makes braking distance so much harder to judge as the Bentley getting sideways and drifting out of the chicane. It's certainly going to lose time to the Renault as a result on that. Looks like he got too eager on the throttle there and had a little bit of a drift session. So Code Joker closing in on Beamer Black all the more. The Hurricane looks like an absolute nightmare to drive in these wet weather conditions. It's typically a loose car in the dry, so it's not going to do too well when you add a little bit of rain to it and take even more traction away from it. And the Mercedes looks like it's been a good all-round car all season, as Kedchi's proved. Unfortunately, Kedchi and Murcielago were just a pair of bowling pins in turn 1, so they're on the road to fixing their race, but I don't think there's going to be much here. Mark on for a very good win if he can hold this gap at 3 seconds to Beamer Black. But if Cone Joker can pass Beamer Black and he's faster, then of course it's still all to play for. A lot of these guys still have to make a mandatory stop during this race, of course. Mandatory stop is involved still, so Kedchi, like we said, the only man to pit, is the only man to have served that stop, so he doesn't have to pit again. And we saw what Mark was able to do with that in Laguna Seca last week. He was able to pit right at the very start, have good pace, and just go for it the whole time. But right now it's Mark setting the fastest laps out in front. Galactic Skull 2 is closing in on Kedchi. Meanwhile, Murcielaga's finally made it past Chazza through sector 2. Sevens is closing in on JFD. And looks like JFD might have actually patched Sevens after that spin anyway, so good effort from JFD. These two are close. You could just see raining pretty hard, no signs of lightening up. Sky absolutely pitch black. You can just see the lovely cozy interior of the Renault doing the dance in the rain, trying to close down. Ooh, big front lockup from Chazza, goes straight on at the final corner. So easy to do if you run over a puddle. Looks like the other Renault, complete carbon copy. Renault's struggling into that final corner. Meanwhile, look at this. What is going on here? Cone Joker, Kevin Jacobs, Galactic Skull 2 Beamer Black, all one massive train. I'm not sure what's happened here. Kevin Jacobs lets Kernjoker through, must have had an illegal overtake. Beamer Black very much under pressure from Kernjoker, but where have these two come from? Galactic Skull 2 trying to go around the outside of Kevin Jacobs. Bit of contact between the two, forces Galactic Skull 2 off the road. Through the next sector we come. Kevin Jacobs closing in on Kernjoker, Kernjoker closing in on Beamer Black. Through Sector 1 to the end of Sector 1 into Sector 2, and it looks like Kernjoker gets the best run out of the four of them, and he's going to have an opportunity into the next corner, but he is a little bit too far back, so he'll probably wait for an opportunity through the chicane, but he's got to get a good exit. Braking later than the Lamborghini, you can just see the closing distance right up behind him, almost pushing him through that sector. Now we'll try and get a better exit, and then he'll be able to make a move, but no, both of them drifting a little bit. No traction on the exit of that corner, but he has the slipstream, he has the power of the Mercedes-Benz, and he's surely going to be able to do something with it. Goes to the outside. If he can make the move around the outside, that'll be brave. Kevin Jacobs is getting involved, very late braking. Galactic Skull 2 spinning in the background there, holding on to it. So getting a little bit messy for this battle for the podium. Beamer Black under a lot of pressure from Kernjoker. Kernjoker trying to do the job he needs to, but Kevin Jacobs getting involved. It's preventing him from doing that. Kevin around the outside of Kernjoker. Could get the two of them. No, door slammed in his face, but now he has the inside of Kernjoker coming into the ultimate corner. Then to the final corner, shoves Kernjoker wide. Galactic Skull 2 says thank you very much. Takes P4 away, and away they go again. But Kernjoker gets the better run between the Mercedes and the Lamborghini. Sorry, the Bentley, and goes around the outside of the Bentley, back up into P4. Kevin Jacobs on the podium. We'll now see if he can pass Beamer Black successfully without the other two getting involved. What a crazy battle that has just seemingly come out of nowhere. Beamer Black's made a mistake. Kevin Jacobs up the inside, but P number 2. Beamer Black trying to hold it on the outside, flashing his lights, not happy at all. Beamer Black there with whatever happened there, flashing his lights, going wide though as a result. Probably should have been concentrating a little bit more. Kernjoker getting involved here. There's a lot of traffic going on here. Beamer Black looking for anything. Can he go around the outside? Switches to the inside. No, he can't. Murcielago is going to be on this battle in a matter of seconds. This is going to be a 5-car train that Kevin Jacobs is leading ahead of Beamer Black. Kernjoker then closely follows, going into Sector 2 now. Heavy braking, Kernjoker very much up the rear of Beamer Black. Murcielago really struggling, sorry, the Hurricane really struggling. Kernjoker really up behind, but the Bentley gets the better run out of the two of them. Is the Bentley going to be able to do anything about Kernjoker? Now, of course, he'll cover the inside if he's wise, but Galactic Skull 2 already eyeing to move up the inside. Late braking, nothing doing on this opportunity. Who is going to pit? That's a very good point in the chat. Who's going to pit and get out of this traffic and go for the clean air? But these boys just having so much fun in this little battle in the rain. Kevin Jacobs starting to pull away a little bit while everyone else is battling. Very much a case of Beamer Black holding these guys up now. Kernjoker still trying to find a way by. Anyone going to pit on this lap? That's very interesting. If anyone will pit. Where is Galactic Skull gone? He's had a spin. Galactic Skull out of this battle. Chazza into the pit lane. Galactic Skull 2 into the pit lane. So we have the next two guys to come into the pits. After Galactic Skull 2 spun, he's gone straight into the pits. Now Kernjoker chasing down Beamer Black. Needs to pass him if he wants to go after Kevin Jacobs, who's up in P2 right now. Murcielago closing in on the three of them. Through turn 1 we go. It's Kernjoker all over Beamer Black, still not being able to find a way. Maybe an opportunity will arise into turn 3. He's got to be careful to get the racing line right. Whoever goes wide, he is going to lose an awful lot of time, and Murcielago's there to pick up the pieces. Beamer Black very slow, almost picking him up, and it's actually Murcielago that makes the mistake of going wide. Meanwhile, Kernjoker looking for anything on Beamer Black. Around into Sector 2 we get ready to go. Kernjoker looking for anything at all to get past that lime green Lamborghini, but finding nothing, finding no answers. Needs to get a good run out of this corner. He's not been able to do that. Makes contact through that double right-hander. Now that's a very good exit, very close, swerves to the inside almost too aggressively and almost loses the rear of the Mercedes there. That's going to cost him any opportunity into the chicane. No opportunity on this occasion. Things start to settle down. There's an opportunity. Beamer Black goes straight on, cuts completely across. That's a big mistake from Beamer Black. Now surely he's got to give that position away. because I'm not sure, he's getting a lot of time. He'll have to at least give that time back. But who's going to pit on this lap? Will Kevin Jacobs pit? No bite from the NSX, anything from the Lamborghini? No. Anyone else into pit lane? Murcielago thought about it, but didn't decide to do it. Kernjerk is still there. Through the final corner, does Kernjerk finally get the exit he needed? It's a long straight, it's a lot longer than it looks. See Kevin Jacobs still within sight, but definitely pulling away from these guys. Kedshi up into P8, so Kedshi has undercutted the two other guys that pitted Vital. JFD into pit lane as well. And you can just see that the Mercedes so much more confident through this rear sector. Down this twirling corner, you can see how much more speed he can carry, but he does go wide. You don't want to get caught on the marbles on the outside. So it's that, the effect of that's multiplied with the rain. So far nothing doing. Oh, rear locking up for Kernjerker, having a bit of a wiggle, but Beamer Black's not having the time of his life either. Checking around the grid, JFD in the pit lane comes out last, but vitally, like we said, Kedshi has undercutted the two other guys that pitted, so giving you an idea of his pace and if he's going to be involved when everyone does do their pit stops. Kernjerker looking for anything, but seriously being held up by Beamer Black here. You can see he's faster, just can't find a way past, looking to the outside, but Beamer Black went to the inside, then moved back to the outside. Kernjerker really didn't know what to do with that, and it was a bit of a, it has been a little bit of a controversial defense from Beamer Black thus far, I think. He cut the corner, gained a lot of time. Did he give it back? Can't quite tell, but definitely forced into a mistake by Kernjerker, and it hasn't paid off. Such a slow corner, and now you can see Murcielago right up in there as well. That's a good exit from Kernjerker. Kernjerker can do something with this. He's on the outside, but he doesn't want to get hit off, so he gives him a wider berth. But that's just going to give Murcielago the opportunity to go to the inside. Those two made contact, and the burp in the sand, both just getting away with it. Will Murcielago return the position? It very much looks like Murcielago is going to return the position. It's a good sportsmanship from Murcielago there. Clear that it wasn't his intention to hit the Mercedes, and that's given Beamer Black the breathing room that he needed. And should have Murcielago just pitted sevens, he's actually got himself into a bit of a spin. That has allowed Kedshi, the man of the moment that we were talking about, to pass him. Now he doesn't want to get caught up in a second accident of the day. So he's got to be careful on how he chooses to battle this R8 as we come out the final corner. What's the R8's pull away like compared to the Mercedes? Looks like it struggled to get traction compared to the Mercedes, and the Mercedes is up into P6. Kernjerker, however, is miles off the circuit. Not sure what's happened there. Did he have another contact with Murcielago? Hard to say, because Murcielago's now up into third. We've just missed a big moment of the race there. Looks like Beamer Black and Kernjerker potentially made contact, because Murcielago's picked up the pieces, and Kernjerker down into fifth, sorry. So Chaza has passed sevens in the last lap as well. Good effort by him. The top 3, 4, top 4, top 5, all still yet to pit. And I think sevens is yet to pit as well. He's just having a miserable day. Miserable rainy day. Needs his rainy day mixtape. Just try and make his stars go. Where Kevin is closing in on Mark. And Mark's into the pit lane. And Mark responding with a pit stop. Kevin's going to stay out and will take the lead. But Mark's pitting now. Interesting moment in the race here, because we can see who's in the frame for the race win. If Kedshi comes out anywhere near to Mark, obviously he's very close to the win now. He's only in the rear of Sector 2, but they haven't released Mark just yet. Murcielago second, Beamer Black third. Of course, the top 3, top 5 still yet to pit. This man's the first of the top 5 to blink. A long stop that could bring him into play. And I think he's just going to be on the outside. So I think Kedgeshi's en route for the podium, but I don't think he's had the pace to come out for the victory. He's around the final corner, so he's not going to be too far away. Oh, it might be closer than we think. Depends how good the launch of the Renault is. There's Kedshi on that back straight there. So Mark leaves the pits. Kedshi is a bit further behind, but I'd say Kedshi's definitely in for a potential second place here today. If Mark makes any mistakes, Kedshi's right there as well. So these guys come out quite close to each other, and Kedshi pulling off what Mark did, but not quite to the same extent. So Kedshi in the frame for the podium. Kevin Jacobs now leads from Murcielago and Beamer Black, Cone Joker. Those four all still yet to pit. Everyone from 4th and below has pitted, because now 7's into the pits. Miserable day, pretty much ending his race today. So there we can see the top 4 are the only guys left to pit. Now can Kevin Jacobs overcut those guys and come back out in the lead? He's going to have a good in-lap if he wants to do it, because he was closing in on Mark before he pitted. It'd be a good time to get in the pits for the Acura. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. So the Acura NSX into the pits, going for the overcut on Mark. He had a good in-lap, and he was gaining when Mark did come into the pits. On the lap Mark come into the pits, Kevin was gaining. So Kevin in the frame here, but he only has an 8-second advantage to Mark behind. Now, how easily will Mark clear Kevin Jacobs? Kevin Jacobs hasn't been served yet. He'll pull into his pit box now. And the gap was around 4 seconds in favour of Mark the last time out. Kevin Jacobs still not released. It's looking better and better for Mark's Renault. And I think we'll be more comparing where Kevin is compared to Kedshi than we will be compared to Mark. Kevin gets released now. Mark's going to zoom on by right about now. Up into the net lead for Mark then. Now Kedshi versus Kevin Jacobs is going to be the battle we're interested in, because Kedshi coming at full speed now. It's going to take Kevin Jacobs a little bit of time to get up to speed compared to Kedshi. Kedshi's going to swoop around the outside and just cut him off. Kedshi up into a net P2 as predicted. We'll have to fight off Kevin Jacobs, though, for the remainder of the race. Galactic Skull 2's right there as well. If anything goes wrong, Galactic Skull 2 still in the frame for the podium, where we still have 3 people at the front yet to pit. 3 more opportunities to see how this race goes on as Kedshi goes wide. Kevin Jacobs is going to take that as an invitation to get a little bit rowdy and go around the outside. Kedshi's going to fight it with all he has, though, and cuts him off. First attack for Kevin Jacobs has failed, but he's immediately on the offensive once again. Kedshi knowing where to park his car, but Kevin more confident and goes clean around the outside. Good move by Kevin Jacobs, just so much more confident. Bumps Kedshi back down. If Kedshi has got anything to respond with, he needs to do it now. Murcielago, Cone Joker, Beamer Black all need to pit within the next 10 minutes, of course, to serve their mandatory stop. Kevin Jacobs then up into net P2 once again, looking to get his best result in NORL. But Kedshi really wants this. You can see just by how late he broke there, he actually cost himself time to Galactic Skull 2. Murcielago in the pits, and it's Cone Joker follow him, and Beamer Black's going to make it a top 3 pit trio. Mark will easily take the lead back at the race, but Galactic Skull 2 fighting Kedshi, and these guys holding each other up a little bit, which could help the top 3 in the pit lane. Murcielago pulls in for his service now, which means these guys have got a little bit of time, and it very much could be that these guys are the battle for the podium. Mark's in the lead already. Where's Kevin Jacobs? Kevin Jacobs has had a nightmare. He's spun off somewhere on that lap, and we didn't see it, but Kevin all the way back down in P8 after having a spin, but the Bentley gaining for the podium battle against Kedshi, because these guys have all undercut the other 3. Galactic Skull 2 up on the podium then. Can he get second away from Kedshi? Bentley looking for any weakness against Mercedes here, and he's found it in that corner. Can he do what Kevin Jacobs did? He went clean along the outside here, and that gave him an opportunity to give Kedshi the worst line, holding the defensive line, and then he can just get the better run. But Kedshi looks like he's putting up a better fight now than he did against Kevin Jacobs, but Galactic Skull 2 is going to try get under him. He watched Kevin Jacobs do this. Can he do it himself? He's going to have to outbrake Kedshi if he wants to go around the outside. These two side by side, banging doors through the double right-hander. These guys still in a very lock-heated battle. Bentley versus Mercedes. Contact, big contact, and they're both off in a big way. And Murcielago and Kevin are coming fast, and they're going to snatch the podium away from not one, but I think both of them, because look at the run Murcielago's got. Almost makes huge contact trying to get by him. How desperate is Kevin Jacobs? Very desperate, because now he takes out Kedshi and takes off Kedshi's rear wing, and they're spinning back onto the track, and oh my god, it's been a huge chain reaction. And Kedji's race, after being rectified, is certainly ruined now. Reverses back into the pits of Kevin Jacobs. Kevin Jacobs dive-bombed Kedji after that, desperate to follow Murcielago through. It's all gone absolutely horrible for these guys here. Oh, even more contact! Beamer Black, huge contact with Kedji, and he's sent off just to add insult to injury. Kedji comes back on to the track, and JFD gives him the respect that no one else has showed him today. And it's gone horrible. Chaz is on the podium now, fighting off Galactic Skull 2 and Kern Joker. Galactic Skull 2 is still there, to be fair to him. Kevin Jacobs just sent it. Chazza goes wide. Galactic Skull 2 trying to go around the outside, but gets forced off the track. Comes back on the track, battling for the podium. Has to give that position up because he did complete it off the track. Kern Joker up the inside of the Bentley now, trying to take 2 on 1, but it's not happening on this occasion. He's up into P4, not P3. We have the chat blowing up, but I can't see the messages. All gone insanely wrong. How quick things can turn. We can see Chazza and Kern Joker battling away for the podium. It's Kern Joker on the inside, Chazza on the outside. Kern Joker actually trying to let Chazza through without letting the Bentley through. Bentley on the outside now takes P4 away from Kern Joker. Kern Joker's biggest enemy there was his courtesy. Galactic Skull 2 up into P3, Chazza P4, Kern Joker P5. The battle for the podium is very much on, despite Kedji's race going to despair. Kern Joker hits Chazza up the rear. Chazza skating across the grass, just misses Galactic Skull 2. Will rejoin. Where's Kern Joker going to be in all of this? Because now Kevin Jacobs is back in the fray. Just misses the Bentley. Kevin Jacobs on the outside of Kern Joker. Can he go clean around the outside? He's done it before. Now has the inside line. Can he go up the inside of Chazza in the very next corner? Not cleanly, because he taps Chazza, and Chazza goes for a spin. So it's definitely been a dirty race here at Le Mans. And up onto the final 5 minutes of this race. No one has had any luck apart from Mark, who's kept himself out of trouble today. Kern Joker P5, Kevin Jacobs P4. A lot of penalty investigations for today, I'm sure. Let's go 2 on the podium. Behind Murcielago, Mark leading by a solid 20 seconds. Kern Joker's going for it again on Kedji, and they both make contact, and they both spin out again. So Chazza, come on back through. Welcome back to P4. And now Beamer Black's going to get involved, and it's going to get messy from here. Everyone is driving with red mist, because that was a Daniel Ricciardo send in the rain from Kern Joker. And you can see that Kern Joker wasn't happy with the way Kevin Jacobs passed him earlier. So return the favour, Beamer Black in the fray of this little train that's forming now. Chazza P4, Kevin Jacobs P5. How hard's Chazza going to fight it? He's already taken out Chazza once. Got to be careful not to take him out on multiple occasions, because that's going to strengthen any case against him. That's if someone is to report him. Goes for the undertake there. He's pulled that off once today. He's on the outside for the double right-hander. Can he go anywhere? Oh, he's going to try out brake, but I think he's going to go too deep. Chaz will have the inside, and he's off the track now, Kevin Jacobs. So if he completed the move anyway, he'd have to give it back, and he does complete the move. So I'm very surprised that he's not having to give that back. Surely he's going to have to give that back. Yep, there it is. Gets told to let him back through, but that actually weakens his straight line speed, because now Beamer Black trying to get through, but Kevin goes, no, mate, just Chazza, not you. Closes the door. Beamer Black on the inside though, side by side with Kevin Jacobs. That's probably the cleanest move we've seen in a while, but Kevin Jacobs comes back, and to prove me wrong, bumps him off. Now Kevin Jacobs still trying to find anything on Beamer Black's. Beamer Black's on the outside, which turns to the inside for the next corner, and Kern Joker's right behind these two. Contact between the two. Furthermore, Beamer Black up into P5, Kevin Jacobs P6. Into the final corner, Kevin Jacobs right up behind, getting a little bit tail happy though. It's going to bring Kern Joker into play, I'm sure. Now the run up to turn 1 begins again, and I'm sure the chaos will follow. So the train makes its way up into the turn 1, turn 2 complex, with Chazza leading it from Beamer Black, Kevin Jacobs in P6, Kern Joker P7. Oh, out on the wet curb there for the Mercedes. That was a drift and a half. Good save by Kern Joker to not go on that. Just got on that outside wet curb. Big drift. That was pretty cool, I have to say. That was one of the best saves we've seen all race, if not the best save. Kevin Jacobs looks like he's faster through here. It goes a little bit wide. Chaz is still... Oh, Beamer Black's gone. Beamer Black spun, no contact there. He just spun on his own accord. And he's gone around down into P8 for Beamer Black. This race has certainly been dramatic. This championship's starting to pick up now. Chazza in P4 still ahead of Kevin Jacobs, Cone Joker, and Beamer Black removed from this procession after that spin. He won't be getting involved in this fight, I don't think, till the end of the race. With a minute and a half to go, Chazza struggling to get it. Oh, Chazza's rear wing's gone! Chazza's rear wing is gone. How much will that affect him for the remainder of this race? He's already lost the door, lost the wing as well now. He's just turned himself into a Renault road car. Up the inside he goes. Chazza really struggling on the brakes without that rear downforce. That could write him out of this race entirely. Cone Joker on the inside of Chazza. Contact. Cone Joker goes around, and another victim in this battle. Doesn't look impressed at all, does he? The minute he lets Beamer Black through, away he will go. It is so dirty, this race. So Kevin Jacobs now, P4. Oh, we don't want to press that. Certainly not. Not after the action we've seen so far. Kevin Jacobs is P4. Chazza's got no rear downforce. He's going to really struggle for the rest of this race. JFD is going to try his best to hunt him down. In terms of battles, Cone Joker's gone straight on at the final corner once again. Oh, and there it is. Chaz has gone around in one of the most... Oh! Huge accident between Beamer Black and Chazza there. Just absolute collection. That was massive. That was absolutely massive. Oh, not sure what either of them could have done there. Chazza has no rear downforce, so that's the reason he spun out on his own accord through turn 1. Well, through the kink that leads to turn 1. Chazza's race is over, Beamer Black's race is over, Kedge's race was over long ago. Cone Joker takes P6 away from Chazza. Chazza really struggling. Mark wins the race by 25 seconds. Good job by the Renault driver. The only man who had a clean race here today, I think. Started from pole, went down to 4th, watched bowling take place in front of him, and then went on to win by 25 seconds. Murcielago coming around the final set of corners now to take P2. Galactic Skull 2 was actually seriously catching Murcielago, just not enough time in it at the end. Around the final corners to go for a Bentley 2-3. Good effort by Team Bentley across the line. The first podiums for those guys for a while. Kevin Jacobs looking to take P4, will be a good result for him. He's not had the cleanest of races. I'm sure there'll be some stewards' investigations with his name mentioned. JFD's kind of been a man under the radar. Good job for P5 considering he started dead last, went down to dead last on numerous occasions. Will come home for a top 5, that's the best he could have hoped for. Cone Joker, we saw what happened. Beamer Black, we saw what happened. Chazza, again, we saw what happened. Arguably the most unlucky man of today, and I don't even think he knows where he's going. His headlights have stopped working, so he's got a very dark and wet track to get through with no rear wing, so no rear downforce. He's going to creep, try to take the checkered flag, but with no rear downforce, he's got to take it so slowly. So luckily for him, Sevens is nowhere near him, and he'll take that away. And even if Sevens was near him, Sevens himself has now got off. This man did everything right and was just taken out through no fault of his own. The heart weeps for Kedge today, but it's a good day for Mark in terms of the championship. His second win in a row at Le Mans Bugatti. So Mark wins for the second week in a row ahead of Murcielago, and Galactic Skull 2 giving Bentley a double podium. Kevin Jacobs P4. JFD went under the radar, like we said, to finish top 5. And Cone Joker P6 had a reasonable race, got caught up in a lot of accidents. Beamer Black was also controversial with his incidents. Chazza, it was going well for him, and then he lost his rear wing, and that was the end. C'est la vie. Sevens had an awful race, finishes P9, and Kedge did everything right, but got nothing to show for it. You can't say that wasn't a dramatic race, though. 30 minutes of pure chaos here at Le Mans Bugatti. What a brilliant circuit to provide us some crazy action. Le Mans, one way or another, always provides us some craziness, doesn't it? So good job from Mark, Murcielago and Galactic Skull 2. I think the stewards are going to be busy, though. You can catch us next time for round number 8 at Paul Ricard for NORL F1 2018 on Sunday at 8:30. And then you can catch us, of course, here Wednesday for round number 8 of the FIA GT3 series. Thank you so much for watching from all of us here at Gaming Now and NORL, and we'll catch you on Sunday. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of your week. Goodbye.